Welcome to Hero Villains. Who do you think would win when Firestorm faces Iceman, when atomic fire collides with Omega Ice? Fire that does not burn, ice that does not melt. Firestorm is one of the most unique superheroes, formed by the fusion of two people within a single body, usually a teenager and a brilliant scientist. This union creates an entity capable of controlling the atomic structure of matter. Firestorm does not merely generate fire, he can also transmute any object into another form, from turning air into metal to reducing weapons into dust. At his highest state, Firestorm is nearly a demigod, manipulating matter on a level that very few cosmic entities can rival. Iceman, a founding member of the X-Men, represents the pinnacle of Marvel mutant evolution. He does not simply create ice, but fully controls thermal motion at the molecular level. Iceman can lower temperatures to near absolute zero, freeze entire oceans, reconstruct his body from water vapor, and exist without a fixed physical form. Upon reaching the Omega level, Iceman is considered one of the most dangerous mutants to have ever existed. Before we dive deeper into the analysis, please hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you all very much. Firestorm is not a single individual, but the result of a rare fusion between humanity and scientific power. He was born from a particle accelerator experiment at Star Labs, where genetically altered individuals in ways no one could have anticipated gave rise to an entity known as the Nuclear Man. The original Firestorm form was the fusion of Ronnie Raymond and Professor Martin Stein, one embodying impulsive youth and the other seasoned scientific intellect. During a time travel mission with the Legends, Martin Stein was once forced to merge with Valentina Vostok, creating Soviet Firestorm, a version with a distinct identity yet still rooted in the same nuclear foundation. Firestorm exists as a living reactor, where fission and fusion reactions constantly occur within every cell. That immense energy is converted into blazing flames that are both beautiful and terrifying. He not only controls fire, but can sense and harness surrounding energy, turning his own body into an endless power source. Firestorm possesses the ability to fly in ways that far surpass conventional physics. His most familiar method of movement is generating downward streams of nuclear energy, maintaining a stable thrust strong enough to counter gravity. This allows Firestorm to hover in midair, accelerate smoothly, and streak across the sky like a radiant trail of light. However, he does not always rely on such visible energy bursts. In many moments, Firestorm has been shown to fly at astonishing speeds without revealing any apparent propulsion, as if he has become one with the energy flowing throughout space itself. His impact force is equally terrifying. By simply charging headfirst into a surface, he can unleash violent explosions, sending nearby vehicles flying or piercing reinforced walls. Firestorm's transmutation abilities also allow him to dissolve seemingly indestructible threats, from alien meteors to the Dominator's genetic bomb, all reduced to water in an instant. Projectiles fired at him simply disintegrate before making contact. Beyond destruction, Firestorm has demonstrated remarkable precision, creating complex structures such as transforming stone pillars in the Legion of Doom vault into gummy candy with astonishingly accurate flavor. He not only generates nuclear energy internally, but can also absorb power from the surrounding environment, once containing the full blast of a nuclear warhead activated by Vandal Savage, and converting catastrophe into fuel for himself. Firestorm can control and release energy at will, transforming the nuclear power within him into blazing shockwaves. When unleashed, this energy erupts violently, capable of incapacitating unprotected opponents in moments. The heat he generates is intense enough to incinerate reinforced structures and seriously injure even superpowered beings, having forced dangerous figures like Vandal Savage and Reverse Flash to hesitate. Alongside his destructive power, Firestorm also possesses a unique form of perception, often referred to as quark vision. Due to the nuclear nature of the Firestorm matrix, he can observe the world on multiple layers, from seeing through objects and magnifying down to microscopic levels to sensing thermal energy emitted by the environment. Combined with this is his exceptional durability, allowing Firestorm to withstand gunfire, stab wounds, and consecutive explosions while remaining standing. The bond between the individuals fused within the Firestorm matrix is not merely physical, but also a profound mental connection. Even when separated, they can still sense each other's emotions and condition. However, this power comes at a harsh cost, as the fall of one means the other cannot survive. This was shown when Martin was critically wounded and could only remain alive through his bond with Jax. Ironically, that very connection gradually drained Jax, ultimately ending the link and freeing him from a cruel fate. Years later, during a confrontation with Nazi forces in 1944, Jefferson, Jax, Jackson, and Stein came to realize that Firestorm was not merely an embodiment of fire and raw destruction. Their true power lay in manipulating matter at the molecular level. This discovery opened a new horizon, allowing them to effortlessly turn enemy weapons into harmless sand. The pinnacle of this ability was displayed when they destroyed a Thanagarian nth metal meteor that Vandal Savage used in his quest for immortality. After months away from the Legends, Jax and Professor Stein maintained only periodic meetings to merge into Firestorm, ensuring that the Firestorm matrix did not fall into instability. That seemingly peaceful pause ended quickly when new anomalies emerged, forcing both of them back into the fight. However, this return was far from complete. Understanding that reality, Jax became determined to find another path. He asked Ray Palmer to help research a way to separate Firestorm, hoping to wield the full extent of the nuclear power without needing to merge with the Professor. Yet, every attempt led to unpredictable consequences. One experiment intended to sever the spiritual link caused Jax to suffer short-term memory loss for a brief period. Another technical solution pushed the situation even further, resulting in Jax and Stein swapping bodies, forcing them to merge again in order to restore order. During that brief window, Stein even controlled Firestorm's mind and physical form, experiencing the power in an entirely new way. Firestorm's personality is determined by how the individuals merge. If the individuals merge while resisting it or fighting against it, they create an unstable form. Although the more advanced intellect is in control, they still feel the consciousness of the other mind pressing down upon them. They are also unable to properly control their power. When they merge while accepting the union, both minds consciously communicate with each other, with the younger mind controlling the body, while the older mind provides advice and guidance to the younger one. I truly hope you will subscribe to the channel, as that would help us greatly. You are the best, and thank you very much. Now let us talk about Iceman. Bobby Drake was born in New York into a family shaped by two different cultural traditions, with a Jewish mother and an Irish Catholic father. From the moment of his birth, an extraordinary power quietly existed within his body, an ability to freeze the surrounding air that no one yet realized. As he entered his teenage years, Bobby gradually began to sense this abnormality. Unexplained waves of cold creeping into every breath he took. He chose to keep this secret from the world, sharing it only with his parents as a way to protect himself from the fear of being shunned. At first, the power left Bobby constantly freezing and out of control, but over time, he learned how to master that sensation. Bobby Drake is classified as an Omega-level mutant, one of the rare individuals with nearly limitless potential. He can lower the temperature inside and outside his body to extreme levels, plunging the surrounding space into ice and frost. Through a biological mechanism that has yet to be explained, Iceman controls the brain's thermoregulatory center, converting environmental heat into an invisible form of energy and causing it to dissipate. In an instant, temperatures can drop from normal body levels to well below freezing, where molecular motion nearly comes to a halt. Each time he activates his power, a layer of ice forms around him, evolving from fragile frost into solid ice, cold in its power yet unyielding. Iceman possesses transformative abilities. In a single moment, moisture in the air or any nearby source of water can be completely frozen. He creates ice in countless forms, shaping it according to his imagination. The hardness and durability of the ice are not fixed, but instead depend on how Iceman controls cold energy and on the conditions of the surrounding space. When he needs to move, he can create ice paths to glide through the air, And over time, Iceman also discovered that he could fly freely by directly controlling the velocity and pressure of the environment around his body. Iceman's power reaches the molecular level, where everything becomes fragile before a single fleeting thought of his. He can completely freeze the molecules of an object, even stopping the flow of blood in veins instantaneously. Not only can he cover himself with a protective layer of ice, Iceman can also transform his entire body into a form of organic ice. In addition, he can absorb surrounding moisture, expanding his physical size and increasing his strength accordingly, turning himself into a massive embodiment of ice that stands both majestic and terrifying on the battlefield. Iceman can use his mutant ability to control moisture, such as freezing any humidity in the air into ultra-hard ice. He does not need to physically hold the ice in order to shape it. Clearly, he only needs to manipulate the cold air currents he releases in specific ways to form ice into the desired shapes. In the past, Iceman has created ice ladders, ice slides, ice shields, ice clubs, and other ice structures. He has produced ice constructs so strong that he could easily surround and imprison beings like the Hulk, preventing Hulk from breaking free. He can generate snow or blizzards. Iceman has the ability to create a towering column of ice beneath his feet, strong enough to lift him off the ground. The tensile strength of the ice column is determined by its thickness, and its stability is defined by the solidity of its supports. Iceman is nearly invulnerable in this form. He can regenerate a shattered body even if the rest of his form is completely destroyed. Iceman has demonstrated that his control over his power is so vast that he simply cannot be killed. He has shown that even if he is completely incinerated in human form, he can instantly regenerate himself. And even when his entire human body is burned away except for his head, he is still able to restore it. Iceman is capable of turning himself into water vapor while retaining consciousness and the use of his powers. His control is so great that he can exist in two places at the same time and even exist everywhere at once without a physical body. Having transcended those physical limitations entirely, Iceman also has the ability to freeze the water vapor around himself, allowing him to grow to gigantic proportions and gain superhuman strength proportional to his immense size while in that state. One fateful night, as Bobby Drake was strolling with his girlfriend in a peaceful atmosphere, Rocky Beasley and his accomplices appeared and attacked, exposing the harsh world that those with extraordinary abilities must face. Recognizing Bobby's special potential, Professor Charles Xavier sent Cyclops, who was the first member of the X-Men at the time, to approach him. Cyclops broke into the place where Bobby was being held with the intention of taking him away, but Bobby refused, not yet ready to trust or accept his destiny. The disagreement quickly turned into conflict. With power far beyond that of ordinary humans, the walls of confinement lost all meaning. The battle spilled into the streets, drawing panic and hostility from the crowd. The two young men were exhausted, captured, and nearly paid with their lives in the fury of those who feared mutants. Only when Professor Xavier intervened with his psychic abilities were they saved from tragedy. Bobby later joined the X-Men as the youngest member, carrying a rare optimistic smile amid brutal battles. Under the name Iceman, he fought alongside his teammates against dangerous threats, especially the Brotherhood of Mutants led by Magneto. In another encounter, Bobby also met the Human Torch of the Fantastic Four, a hero whose power was completely opposite to his own. Bobby Drake once devoted his heart to Polaris, his first love both intense and pure. However, Polaris' heart belonged to Havoc, leaving within Bobby an emptiness that was difficult to fill. That pain was not loud, but it lingered and endured, leading Bobby to temporarily leave the X-Men in search of his own path to better understand himself. He left the team to join the Champions of Los Angeles, a group of heroes defined by freedom and youthful passion. Though it existed only briefly. When the Champions disbanded, he still could not fully walk away from the fight, and at one point returned to the X-Men to confront Arcade. Later, together with Angel and Beast, two former teammates, Iceman joined the Defenders, continuing his journey to protect the world in a new role. This is a confrontation that from the very beginning carries the shape of a stalemate. Iceman enters the battle with an advantage that makes him nearly impossible to destroy. His body is not bound to a fixed form, because as long as any liquid exists, whether it is moisture in the air or fluid within an opponent's body, Iceman can regenerate and return. This ability renders all conventional attacks meaningless, like trying to destroy a snowstorm with bare fists. Firestorm is by no means outmatched, as he possesses an extremely dangerous ability of molecular reconstruction. In theory, Firestorm could rearrange Iceman's molecular structure to neutralize his power. However, this is almost impossible in practice. Precisely affecting living tissue is already an enormous challenge. Not to mention that Firestorm would need a deep understanding of the genetic structure and the very nature of an Omega level mutant's power. That is the only path for Firestorm to achieve victory, yet it is also the most uncertain one. By contrast, Iceman needs only a moment of focus to lower the temperature of Firestorm's brain, freezing life from within. And even if Firestorm can counter by altering the surrounding environment, such as turning air into dense matter to restrain his opponent, he still faces an entity that controls temperature at an absolute level. Iceman is not merely ice, he is the concept of stagnation, of the moment when all motion is brought to a halt. With the potential to reach the lowest temperatures that can exist, he carries within him a capacity for destruction, far beyond what Firestorm can prevent. Therefore, when all aspects are considered, the final victory is most likely to belong to Iceman. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Follow me if you like. That is today's video. Thank you very much.